Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Mydbops MyWebinar 35. I'm Shiny and I'll be your host for today's session. Before we dive into today's topic, let me give you a quick overview of who we are. Mydbops is a leading database management and consultancy provider founded in 2016. Over these years, we have had the pleasure of assisting over 800 happy customers, and our services include comprehensive consulting and managed services tailored to meet your database needs. And today we are very thrilled to have you join us for an exciting and informative webinar on what is new in Postgres 17, presented by Mukul Mahto, a Postgres expert at MyDBOps. So today's webinar will cover a range of new features and enhancements in Postgres 17, including performance optimization, partitioning, workflow enhancement, security, backup, and more. We will also see some fascinating comparisons between Postgres 16 and 17, highlighting the performance improvements and new capabilities that make upgrading worthwhile. And now, let me introduce our speaker, Mukul Mahto, who is an experienced Postgres professional and he is an active blogger sharing his knowledge with the community. So, of course, we are in for an insightful session today. And please feel free to drop your questions in the chat box as they come to mind, and we will address them immediately. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Mukul Macho.
Thanks for detailed explanation, Signing. Hello everyone, I am Mukul. Today I am going to discuss about the new features of PostgreSQL version 17. About us, we are a database management and consultancy provider. We have founded in 2016 and we have assisted 800 plus happy customers. And we are a AWS partner and PCI and ISO certified. Moving on agenda of this webinar, introduction to PostgreSQL 17, performance optimization, partitioning and distributed workloads, developer workflow enhancement, security features, backup and export management and monitoring. PostgreSQL 17, key enhancement, improved performance, enhanced high availability, advanced developer features, and strong security. Why we need to upgrade to version 17? By upgrading to this version, we will lead to a greater efficiency, reliability, and access to the latest database capabilities. Moving on, on new topic, performance optimization. First, improved vacuum mechanism. The older version in PostgreSQL is used an array to track the data pulse, which was a quite memory intensive. But from version 17, it replaces with a TID store that uses an adaptive registry. This is a new feature and is more memory efficiency. Previously, in an older version, we are using maintenance memory up to 1 GB limit. But from version 17, we have a dynamic memory allocation, means we can use more memory for maintenance work memory. And also, there is a faster looking for tuple AID during the index cleanup is new now faster due to the new structures. And this new structure also shown up 20 times less memory used compared to the older versions, and also faster vacuum process in version 17. Reduce wall volume for vacuum. In earlier version, there is a independent record for freezing and pruning, but version 17 there is within a single record they record freezing and pruning, and a faster sync means this when data will be written in wall, then from wall to disk is faster and taking very less time to write the data into the disk. Mark item as LP unused instead of LP dead. In earlier version, the we that tuples and the data which are not used from a table, that is marked as LP dead. But from version 70, it's marked as a LP unused, means we are marking the only index which are not in use, so it's basically reduced the wall value. Here we see the comparison performance of Postgres 16 and 17. In this scenario, I have taken maintenance work memory at a 64 MB for both the servers. Here I have created one table that is test ID and inserted the data of 10 millions and then created index and then update that ID with a ID which is one less than before. So updating the ID. So updated ID which is less than before. So auto vacuum will be a start. So during a start, I have compared taken one state for PG state progress. Here we can see that index vacuum count for version 16 it's showing 1 and version 70 it's showing 0. And after completed the auto vacuum, I have taken a log data. Here we can see that average read rate in PostgreSQL 17 is very high, that is 34.779 MB per second. But in my testing scenario, write is low compared to the version 16, and buffer usage is also very high in version 16, which denotes a very high usage of memory and disk compared to version 17. Wall usage is also very high in version 16, and version 17 uses very wall usage of records. Then system resources like CPU users and systems, it's high in version 16 and version 17 is also very less. And total time taken to completed this auto vacuum is taken only 16.76 seconds, and but in version 16 it's taking 50.58 seconds. This is the main time, very uh, large time difference we can say that for performing the auto vacuum in older version and newer version. Streaming IO in PG17. Streaming IO with IO combining basically historically means in parallel post all means older version of PostgreSQL. Postgres read data one page at a time. With the new streaming IO capability in version 70, instead of reading one page at a time, postgres can combining that those pages and do a single read force of 16 pages, and this means basically it's reading 128K instead of 8K in a single read. And also there is a one parameter is added, that is IO combine limit. From there we can change that limit for like 250 at 6 KB, 128 KB is a by default in version 17. Streaming IO for sequential scan. With streaming IO in version 70, we can now read a large chunk of data or in a single sequential scans. For example, if we want to scan a table with 10 pages, PostgreSQL would make means 10 separate calls for older versions for each page. But in version 17, instead of making a separate system call for each page, PostgreSQL basically combine those pages into a single call and gives the output. It's basically improved also in select query, basically more in performance we can see in version 17, but we should take a limit. So it will read particular disk or memory, so give the output. Streaming IO benefits for analyze. In version 17, Analyze uses the new streaming IO capabilities to read data more efficiently compared to the older version. While it basically doesn't combine like a sequential scan to read, basically it's give the benefits from prefetching, which means loaded the needed data into the memory ahead of the time. This reduce the delay and speed of the analyze operation, like for performing faster query planning and all. Here we will see one example. Here I have executed one query, and we can see the in older version, that is 16. Its buffer shared hit is 416 and execution time is also 2869.794 milliseconds. In version 17, we can see that buffer shared hit only 61, and execution time is also very less. That is 1287.96 milliseconds compared to the older version. Now, improved SLRE subsystem performance. Basically, SLRU subsystem also improves the performance in version 17. SLRU subsystem basically used for storing information like data, sub-transaction information, multi-transaction informations. But when this number of transaction becomes a very large, there's that time there is a performance delay due to the cache size. Now we can configure version 17 that cache size also. So according to our requirement, we can set that cache size. We reduce the delay of the performance. And also we have the divided each SLRU substance into a chunks which we have named as a bank, so that eviction mechanism has to only search one bank of the cache instead of whole bank whole cache, which also allow to and also we have the that separate lock regimes which is used to allow multiple people to access the SLRU subsystem at a bank level rather than to full catch SLRU cache. Query optimization and query optimization using a bit tree index scan for in clause is also improved a lot compared to the older version. Here we can see that 3 times approx performance is improved using a bit tree index scan. In version 16, I have executed one query, and there you can see the time is 1.293 millisecond. In version 70, we can see that is execution time taken only 0.564 milliseconds, which shows the approx 3 times performance is improved in version 70. Performance boost with constraint. Here we can see the how performance is increased with not null constant by adding not null constant. See what I have taken example execution plan without not null constraint. While I'm executing one query with n name is null, we can see that there is a sequential scan, means scanning the entire table because it's check each row. The same for second scenario where nm is not null. It's scanning whole table for to check each row. Now I have taken a constant not null constraint. So execution plan for not null constraint where n name is null. We can see there it's showing like one time filter equal to false. Why it's showing Postgres version 70 basically it's no all values are not null. So it's quickly skip that checks and give the output like one time filter equal to false. And for not null constraint where n name is not null, here it's showing like sequence scan on employees and didn't showing any filter. Like previously it's showing a filter, n name is not null, but here it's showing only sequence scan on employee but not showing any filters. It means it's only performing scans but doesn't give any extra filters. Now faster brain index creation. Previously, while we creating a brain index, is like older versions of PostgreSQL, a single worker is read the entire tables, build summaries for block ranges, then insert this summarize into a brain index. For what happened? For this, there is a one drawback of like for a large table, this the process is very slow, and for CPU bound is also especially for a single core CPU. But in version 17, enter give lots of enhancements in brain index creation. For here we from version 17 allows multiple workers to collaborate to creating a index which significantly speeding up the process for a large table. For example, I have a here I am taking one example. Suppose there is a 1 lakh of uh, blocks and the total four workers. Four multi-parallel worker support is there. So I am taking a four workers. So each block is divided 25,000 for each worker. So what we'll do, every workers have a independent every like each block have summarized first 25,000 blocks, and it it have to maintains like is responsible for each 25 blocks. So for each four workers have 25 each, 25, 25, 25. So total 1 lakh. So it's responsible for 25 each, and sorted the index. Then leader what day? Leader basically then read all the summarized blocks from all workers and integrate into a final green index. So in this way, it's just enhance the creation of green index in version 17. Partition and distributed workload enhancements. Partition management in version 17 is one of the good enhancements for partition in table. Like earlier, split partition and merge partition command is not there in till version 16. Now version 17 introduce a split partition and merge partition commands. Split partition basically break large partition into smaller ones, and merge partition will be merge two or more partition into a one. Not while we are creating a while we creating a partition or merging a large database, then take it's lock the table parent table, like access exclusive lock will be there for parent table till partition is not completed. Here we see exclusion constraint on partition table. Exclusion constraint basically it's prevent conflicting data in different partition of a table. Here we see one example. I have created a table that's name is order, and here unique customer ID and partition. I have partition by range for order table. We see there is a conflicting of data, so giving an error. Unique constraint of on partition table must include all partition column. This error they are providing due to the conflicting of data. But while we are creating another time that same table with unique order date and partitioning also done by the order date. So here is not conflicting the data. So it's created the table. Logical replication. This is a major update in version 17, which we demanded for a number of years. But prior, there is no failover for the logical replication. Means whenever that once the primary or the publisher server go down, the subscription would stop to the sync, which by directly causing a logical replication to break. Means once the sub publisher node goes down, subscription will stop, and which cause the logical replication to break. But in version 70, we basically introduce a way which we can keep that replication slot in sync between the primary, which is publisher, and standby server, which is subscriber server. If the primary like a publisher will fails, then a subscription server already have an up-to-date replication slot to synchronize with primary server, which is publisher server, with help of failover. How we can achieve that? Basically, there in version 17, slot sync worker is there. Slot sync worker basically what to do, which that is present on the standby server, which means subscriber server. These worker basically regularly communicate with the primary server, means our publisher server, to check if there have been any changes in the replication slot. If there is any changes done in the replication slot, then they update the a slot on the standby server, which is primary server. We can achieve this features with two-way, which is automatic syncing and manual sync. Automatic sync, we can turn on the sync replication slot parameter on setting on standby server, which is subscriber server. This basically what to do, this we makes the slot sync worker automatically and periodically to fetch latest information of the slots from primary to update the standby server, which is subscriber server. And manual sync alternatively, we can perform a manually synchronization the slot by using a function which is called a pg sync replication slot. And note that, note one thing, while we creating a logical replication slot using a command, create subscription command on the primary server, which is publisher server, to make sure that to set this parameter property failover to true, so that slot will be eligible for synchronization with standby server, will that is subscriber server. And also there is a upgrade logical replication. Now we can upgrade version, major version upgrade in logical replication. Earlier we can't able to, means we can upgrade the major version, but there is a slot we can't means not able to retain. And also the subscription relation is also we are can't retain. But from version 17 we can also slot retain and subscription relation also retain in version 17. While during like any major version upgrade, it will keep the replication state unchanged during an upgrade also. And also they have they give the, we can perform the right operation on the on the primary continue during the subscriber upgrades. But for this we have version requirement for PostgreSQL version 17 plus, we can only do this. New tool pg create subscriber command. New command is also introduced in logical replication, that is pg create subscriber. Basically it helps to create a logical replica from standby server. And the pg create commands also speeds up our logical rep subscriber. And also it's simplified our post and upgrade postgresql instances. And new column is also added in view, that is in PG application slot view, that is inactive since and invalidation region. Inactive since basically notes that when our application slot become inactive, and invalidation region gives the information about the why the reason behind the invalidation of replication slot. In version 16, we while we run the query like select testing from PG replication slot, where slot name is Mydbops testing slot, we can see that there is no column present inactive since and invalidation region. But version 70, we can see that inactive since and invalidation region column is present, which developer workflow enhancement. Merge command. Merge command basically is used to complex DML operation in a single statement. Like in older version, we can handle only matched data. We can't able to handle unmatched data. But version 70, we can also match with a unmatched row by using by giving like it's not matched by source clause. And there is one merge action column is also added, which gives the information about DML that generated the row, like insert, update, delete we have performed in exam with a merge command that will show up. So it's basically for analyze purpose, it will be very easy. And the view must be consistent for merge. Trigger updatable view. We have to use instead of trigger during insert, update, delete. And updatable auto updatable table view should not have any integers. Here see one example. I have created two table. That one table name is product catalog, and the second table is price updates, and inserted some data. Then with use of the merge command, I have updated and inserted some data, and also I have mentioned like when not matched by target means indirectly I have message taken example with when not matched by a source clause. So we can see that when it's give the output like select extreme from merge, it's give the output like merge action, which here I have performed three update, one insert. So it's giving that records like update, update, insert, and update, and all data. OP improvements in version 70 also a good improvement in copy command. Earlier version we are managing data type with incompatibilities, we are getting the error. But there is one option introduced in version 17 that uh, ignore option with using on error command. Like what this does do when incompatibilities data types is coming that shows the error, and that error they will skip it. But enhance logging using log verbosity. It shows give the detailed information about which rows have some error like rows or column, which data is incompatibility. Any error is show by using a log verbosity. Here I have also taken one example. In next slide I will see you. We will see you. And also one attribute is added in PGA progress copy view, that is tuple skipped, which basically skip the tuples. See here one example. I have created a CSV file. That file name is data issues.csv file. Here I have taken one example, uh, example three tables, and inserted that by using a copy command. I inserted the data from CSV file, but some data is incompatibility, so it's showing error, and it's skipping the error. Earlier we are getting error, so we have to first fix the error, then we can proceed. But in version 70, we can skip it, and only corrected data will be generated, means stored in the table. And for error, we can check that what is the error and fix it, and we can again copy it. SQL JSON enhancements, apart from uh, other improvement, SQL JSON features is SQL JSON is also improved, like JSON table. Mm, Earlier, we are not able to convert JSON data into table format, but in version 17, we can able to convert the JSON data into a table format. Here I have taken one example. I have created a customer orders table, and then I have inserted the data with the help of JSON value, and then the I retrieve the data. We will that will basically convert the JSON data into a table format. Apart from this, new functions for JSON like JSON constructor, like JSON serialize, and JSON scalar. JSON basically is convert a string into a JSON value, and JSON serialize converts a JSON value into a binary format. JSON scalar converts a simple value into a JSON format. JSON query function. JSON many many query function is introduced in JSON also. Like JSON exists. Checks if a specific part exists in JSON, means if it check the if exist that part is exist or not. If it exists, it is return to the true. JSON query, which extract a part of the JSON data, JSON value, it's extract a single value from JSON. Here I have there is mentioned like user, so it will be Charlie, so it's printed give out pressure Charlie. Security features reduce need for super user privilege. In version 17, one PG maintenance role is introduced for performance, performing like maintenance activity, vacuum, analyze cluster, refresh materialize view. we can that can done by the PG maintenance role. For this, any role a user have not dependent on the super user to perform any maintenance activity or vacuum any vacuum vacuum materialize view index activity. So what how can we achieve it? For that, we have to give the permission to that particular user to PG maintain. So that user can perform any maintenance activity which is under the PG maintain role. And we can also give the specific permission for that role means user like a specific table they can perform vacuum or reindex or anything. Here I have taken example PG maintain role. I have created a role that is a MyDBOps. Then I have setted that role to MyDBOps and tried to perform the vacuum on test 17 table. Is here is showing a permission denied error warning to vacuum test 17. So basically it's provide a warning permission denied. So because I have not given any access to my DBOps inside the PG maintain role. So I have now given the permission, grant permission to PG maintain to my DBOps role. So and now my DBOps can perform any activity under the PG maintenance. Like here I perform a vacuum on table test 17. Now it's performed a vacuum. Now I have given the specific table to perform activity. So like see here, grant maintenance role on table role test to my DBOps. Here I am giving only my DBOps user to perform role test table activity. So I setted a role MyDBOps and tried to perform another table like customer orders. So it's also giving a warning permission denied to vacuum because I have given all maintain activity PG maintain activity for one role only table role test to MyDBOps user. So now I have tried to vacuum on role test. So here it's performed the vacuum. Improved alter system commands. Earlier version till there is no any control for alter and system commands, but from version 17 it's introduced alter system commands control. Like from version 17, how can disable it? For this, we have to go to the configuration file, and there is a one parameter allow alter system. We can disable that parameter. So now from now if once disabled, the user or any user are not able to perform alter system command in instance. Faster TLS connection with this version 17 also there is a improvement in connections like SSL negotiation equal to direct. With the new SSL negotiation direct option we can establish a connection without the need for a network round trip negotiation. This feature basically beneficial in a scenario where connection speed is critical and it's reduced at time to establish a secure connection. For this, it's a requirement. LPN is a requirement. LPN basically allowed application layer to decide which protocol should we use over a secure connection, and this will work only for version 17 and newer version, not applicable for older version till 16. Backup and export management. Incremental PG based backup, which is one of the major updates in version 17. But prior to versions incremental version, we do not have any options to perform incremental PG based backup. By adding this incremental PG based backup, we that's taken a time to take a large database backup is a very significantly the time is reduced for a large taking a backup for a large database and using a PG based backup we can take a whole backup of our data, but by using the incremental we can take a backup only of that data which was changes, like after the full backup, like insert, update, delete, and or any table is creation, we can take a backup using an incremental option. And wall changes will be tracking by a summarize wall. And while we taking an incremental backup, there the summarize wall should be enabled. So for instead I have taken one scenario. So there I have enabled first summarize wall, then I have taken a full backup using pg based backup, and then I have taken an incremental backup using a pg based backup, means which files or which insert, update, and any table is created after the full backup, that part of the data will be uh, taken a backup using an incremental backup. Then I have taken a full backup using a PG combined backup. So here I have taken a full backup using a combined backup, and that's I have given a name combined increase full backup. So while we taking a combined backup, we have to give taken also full backup and increment backup. Basically, it will merge the whole backup into one backup. Then I have stopped my server and tested it using a whole backup, and in the and then I have restarted the started the server, and you can here you can see that all tables and data database is present. Monitoring, explain command enhancement. Uh, in version 70, the explain commands is also in we have improved, giving two options we have added, like a serialize and memories. Serialize basically it's convert the time taken to data into a network transmission, and memory will give the optimizer means how much memory is uses. Here I have taken one example. I have executed one query with the options analyze, serialize, and memory and buffer. Here we can see that memory is showing 9 KB, means that query is used a total 9 KB of memory out of 16 KB. Here it's allocated total 16 KB to perform this activity, but it's used only 9 KB. Serialization time, we can see that or 2.0 to 8 milliseconds it takes time to convert the data into network transmission, and the total output is 291 KB, and format is text format. Vacuum progress reporting. There is two column is added in view PG state progress vacuum, that is index total and index proceed. Index total basically gives the total index on the table which is being be vacuumed, and index processor shows how many indexes have been already vacuumed. New A new view is also added in version 17, that is PG wait events, which gives the detail about event details and the description. Like in there is showing what events is going, that is auto vacuum menu is going on, and its description. PG state check pointer, which which basically gives the statics related check pointer process. It's replaced some of the old states which we have found in the PG state BG writer, and gives the information about the check pointer process. PG state statements. Basically, PG state statements in there is a one improvement for call normalization. Call normalization is a basically in PG state statement is a way to handle stored procedure calls. Previously, every unique calls to a stored up procedure, even if had a same name but different parameter, will generate a separate entry in PG state statement view, which which leads to a large number of entry and making harder to analyze the performance. But in versions from version 17, uh, that dash calls for the same stored procedure with different parameters are generated into only a single call, single entry, which providing a more manageable view for performance metric. Like I have here taken one example, like call update salary. He's showing like HR of 1200 for every like a call up. I have update salary for employee employee like engineers and many others. So it's so basically till version 16 it's give the different means many outputs, like many output which for same update salary. But in version 17 in one single statement it's giving like update salary and same for same value it's showing $1 and $2. Removed old snapshot threshold parameter. Basically old threshold parameter was used to set a limit to keeping old row version during the vacuum. This parameter is removed as it also have a many performance related issue. So suppose we have a threshold I have set it for all the snapshot threshold to 10 minutes and one query is running for 20 minutes. It might encounter like error, a snapshot to all the error if we try to access that data which we already have been vacuum. So this version that all the snapshot control parameter is removed and addresses the performance and avoids the error to like a snapshot to all the error to all the errors. These are the references where I have taken the information for this webinar. I hope this information gives you idea about the new features of Postgres version 17. So you can connect with us in LinkedIn and YouTube as well. And if you have any queries or any further support you require from us, you can reach us at our email ID info@mydbops as well. Thank you for listening this webinar. If you have any queries and any suggestion, please share us in comment box. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mukul, for that insightful presentation on what's new in Postgres 17. It's clear that Postgres continues to evolve with significant improvements in performance, security, and developer workflows. These updates are certainly going to benefit all of us in the database community. And we are also very excited to continue these discussions beyond today. So, if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to us via email info@mydbops.com or on our social media platforms. You can also connect with the MyDBOps team for more in depth consulting and managed services. Thank you once again for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you in our future webinars. Have a great weekend. Thank you.